want some advice, we feel. You ain't gotta lie to kick it, my nigga. You ain't gotta lie.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is You Ain't Gotta Lie podcast, episode 31. This is going to be a Thanksgiving pack one. I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving with their family. For the people who like to go Black Friday shopping, good luck, especially if you're in Orlando. You got them psychos out there, dudes parking all in the median to go shopping. And then good luck with Cyber Monday. But, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Money. This is my boy Wavy. How's it going, bro?
What's going on, everybody? It's another beautiful day, man. One thing I want to talk about real quick, since you brought it up. People are sheep. And when I say that, it's like, we all know these stores are packed on these days, right? So people are in there, especially like Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, I had to go to the store and get something for Thanksgiving. So it's packed, right? So I get there and I'm thinking like, man, I had to get a dessert. So I'm like, I'm just gonna get this dessert. I'm in and out. And so I get my dessert and I'm going there and I'm like, hit self-checkout. It's the quickest thing. I get to self-checkout, bro. They got checkout wrapped. It's like self-checkout's here and then the line is here all the way down the aisle. And I'm like, I'm not finna sit in this line. So I turn around and look. It's legit 4 cash registers that are open. And people are just in that long ass line for no reason. And I'm like, so no one thought to be like, let me look around. So I looked. I was legit in and out in like 3 minutes. So, but if I would have sat in that line, and that's when people be like, man, I was at the store all day. Were you sitting in the line like a jackass, or did you? And usually when people go to self-checkout, they're trying to steal. But it's like, it's too many people here for you to even try that on Thanksgiving. Just go let them people ring you up. Because most of them people had a couple things anyway. So it's like, dude, take your ass in line and ring up whatever you got. Because I was thinking like, I got one thing self-checkout, but I'm like, I'm not finna sit in that self-checkout line. So I looked, like I said, it was legit 4 cash registers open. The cash was just sitting, it's like, I'm getting paid for free, so it's whatever. But anyways, yes. Outside of that, though, did you have a good Thanksgiving, though? Did you enjoy seeing your family and stuff?
Bro, I got to tell you this. Since we're talking about Thanksgiving, have you seen a Golden Corral line, bro, on Thanksgiving?
Golden Corral on Thanksgiving? No. I hate Golden Corral.
Grace and I drove past the Golden Corral. The line was wrapped around the building.
First of all, how sorry are you going to Golden Corral on Thanksgiving? You can't cook nothing for your family, bro. You could have catered, if anything. You couldn't even cater for your family. You like, we gonna go to Golden Corral. That's sorry as hell.
Hey, people like Golden Corral, bro.
So, Money, you want to tell our lovely listeners what our topics are for today? Okay.
Well, we had a little broad breakdown of Thanksgiving and Black Friday and Cyber Monday because we know, everybody indulging a little bit of that sometimes. But our topics are, why are NBA players hurt so often? That is a topic that Jay and I, thought was really interesting, and we did some research and everything regarding that. And then we're going to talk about some NFL topics, recaps of some of the games. And then we have to have a serious conversation regarding Shedeur and how he looks during his first start and his upcoming start versus the 49ers.
All right. You want to take the lead on the first topic, or you want me to start?
I want to take the lead on it, bro. I've been looking forward to this one. I'll say, so I'm going to break down different things, right? First, I'm going to break down missing time, injuries, pace, player development, medical approaches, and then player bills, okay? So I'm going to say with missed games. In the 90s, players only miss, it was 10.6, so I'll say 11 games per season, right? Now it's 24. I'll say it's due to load management, it's due to players, trying to protect themselves, and that type of thing. And then also regarding sports science on recovery. I'll say something that's interesting to me is injuries, right? Back in the day, they only had like blunt force injuries. Now it's, Achilles, ACLs, and soft tissue injuries like ligaments and that type of thing. So I say that had me thinking, because it was a lot more physical back in the day, right? I'll say another thing is, right, is the pace. The pace is a lot faster now. Like back then, they like to have slower pace, throw it to the big man, hey, let's play this, half court system. Now it's all about threes, cutting explosiveness, it puts more stress on the joints and ligaments. When back then, due to the slower pace, it was less, taxing on your body. I think you're going to be interested with this other part, player development. Nowadays, it's AAU all around, year round, and it leads to more wear and tear on the body. When back then, this is really interesting that I found, players played multiple sports. Like back then with the AAU, now with AAU it's just basketball. Now it's like, back then they would play, football, basketball, track, all that. Now they're just focused on basketball. And so due to them, being just focused on basketball, they don't have more balanced muscle groups or less wear and tear, because that's what these athletes back then had, because they would play multiple sports. Another thing is medical, okay? Medical, everything nowadays is all about advanced science, and now it's all about finding injuries and identifying them earlier. And then the approach, right? It's more cautious now. The recovery is for long term. Medical science is for, less wear and tear and more games, right? But back then, longer careers. Back then, it was all about playing more games. So the players nowadays have longer careers, but they play less games. I'll say another thing is player build, which is interesting. I've seen that they said that players now are heavier back than back then. Is anything you want to argue about or have a conversation regarding about any topics I talked about?
No, 100%. I'm along the line with everything you're saying. One of the things too that they try to say is like you said, you touched on it, so I'm going to basically touch on a couple of things and dive a little deeper than you, not like crazy deeper, but like a perfect example is the pace and space, how you brought up. The pace of a game back in the 90s, they had anywhere from 85 to 90 possessions a game. And now in today's game, they have anywhere from 100 to 112 possessions. So that's even more trips up and down the court. So the 90s was slower because, they were more half-court focused, like you brought up. And they are more like, hey, let's get in the set, let's run the play, opposed to now it's like, let's get out in transition, let's run, And so the players today run more miles per game. They're changing directions more often, they jump more, and they play at a higher intensity more frequently. More movement obviously leads to more overuses and injuries. And, fast forward to what you were just touching on, the size of players. Players now are bigger, faster, stronger, and jump higher. If you look at someone like Zion is 6'6", 300 pounds. And he can jump out the gym. No one that big should be as athletic as he is. He is truly a freak of nature when it comes to his basketball skills. He's, as someone in one of the articles I read, he's a superhuman. Honestly, him and LeBron are superhumans. Now, granted, I'm not saying he's going to have a LeBron career, but just from their pure athleticism alone, things LeBron James did at 6'9", 260 pounds is unthinkable, undescribable. And so, same with Zion, so obviously with that, those more possession means more stress and tendons and ligaments and stuff like that. My thing has always been, I understand that, the game is less physical now, which creates that more free movement. So now a lot of hand checking was, before hand checking was banned, that slowed the game down. Because now you kind of got to move your hips and stay in front of a guy. Opposed to then, you can kind of like push them back or guide them where you wanted to, and they couldn't blow past people as easily. So with that aspect being added to the game, it changes a lot. And since it changes so much, it leads to more, more movement. And so I get the aspect. My thing is just like, I understand that, but we're missing half the season. 11 games in the 90s compared to half the season. And I feel like our medicine is better. I feel like the technology is better, from the sneakers, from, these hyperbolic time chambers, all this other crazy stuff that athletes have access to. And obviously, is better. Science is advanced. So all these technological advances we have now, I feel like leads to that. So I get it. But on the other side of it, the biggest thing that I kind of can't argue with, which makes a lot of sense, and you touched on it too, is AAU basketball. Then you have AAU. It was very few and far in between that they had AAU teams back then. You hear about stories, but not a lot of these guys. Like you said, a lot of them back in the day played multiple sports. AI played football. Michael Jordan played baseball. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the first two that pop in my head. But a lot of them guys played, Mutombo, I believe, played soccer. So, all these guys play different sports. So now these kids are playing in AAU. And this one article I read, he did the research and he basically worked out the math. And he said, if you start AAU from 8 years old, get a private trainer at 12, and then start going through all these different circuits, and then you're playing year-round basketball from 8th grade honor, by 22, a college prospect, granted they come out around 18, but that's 22 based on your 4 years of college. He said, so if you do 4 years of college, from 8 to 22, they have more mileage on their joints and legs than a 27-year-old from the 90s.
Wow.
So the wear and tear is very intense because we're starting these kids off at a younger age. So I understand it because now you're accumulating over that years of micro damage from such a young age. So I get it. But like I said, I feel like the medicine's better. Back in the day, you tear your ACL, that used to be a career ender. Your Achilles tendon, that was a career ender back in the day. Another injury too, a broken collarbone. Back in the day, a broken collarbone, that's your season. You out for the whole season. Now we seeing guys break their collarbone and come back. We seeing guys tear their ACL, come back in 8 months on some Adrian Peterson stuff. You know what I'm saying? So, medicine came such a long way.
Adrian Peterson is we gotta say is one of the top freaking natures we've ever seen, bro. He has to be up there.
And then another thing that plays into it is like you said, guys were lighter back then. We had guys, in the NBA playing point guard, 6'2", 172. Now we got guys in the NBA 6'4", 215, 210. Borderline football players out there. A guy who was 6'8" was usually in the paint. He's a big boy. He not moving like the guys who are 6'8" now in the league. Kevin Durant 7 feet tall and can move like a guard. LeBron in his prime can move like a guard. You know what I'm saying? Brandon Ingram can move like a guard. And all these boys are 6'8" and taller. So the game has changed so much. And basically my conclusion was, the game has changed so much to the point to where, yes, we're advanced our athletes. Yes, we have became more dynamic and more, smart on how we approach things and better how we handle injuries. But the human body hasn't developed that far yet to where they can take on that wear and tear. It's advanced to the point of recovering faster, because that's been the big thing, is recovering faster. But I still feel like we go from, like you said, missing 11 games. So it's an 82-game season, 11 games, that's what, 71, correct? So 71 games compared to nowadays they play 50, 55 games. It's insane. And it's gotten so bad to the point to where now the NBA has implemented the 65-game minimum award to be in consideration for season accolades, which is sad.
I gotta say this, Jay.
Could you imagine they said that in the 90s?
Think about this, Jay. They played twice as many games back then than they do today. Because 11 compared to 24 is more than twice as many.
Correct.
Per season.
And it's insane to me. So it's like you look at these guys and it's like, I understand missing it, but could you imagine telling some guys in the 90s like, hey, the NBA's finna install a rule to where you guys gotta play at least 65. They're gonna be looking at you like, we play the whole season. Even Michael Jordan, and I'm not the biggest Jordan fan, but Jordan played 82 games. He played every game. When he got hurt, he got hurt, so he couldn't obviously play. But Jordan was there every game. Load management has completely ruined the game. It's gotten to a point to where it's like I hate Kawhi Leonard. I hate Kawhi Leonard. I hate the fact that he refuses to play because he got a little ache. He got a little belly ache, so he gonna miss 2 weeks. I hate Kawhi Leonard, and I just think, he's a person that he doesn't love the game. He's in it for the check, 100%. And you see a lot of that now. I feel like you see more of it now compared to back then.
I was talking with someone who works at one of the place I get my glasses. I was talking with her, and she said that her son was a big Kyrie Irving fan, right? So they took him to a game when Kyrie Irving was supposed when the Mavericks were supposed to be playing the Orlando Magic, right? They were excited. Her son was excited and everything. And guess what happened, bro?
He ain't play.
He ain't play.
And that's changing the future. Like it's this sports show I watch, right? He the one that showed it's 3 hosts. And one of the hosts on the show was telling the story about, his first game, his favorite player, because he's an older guy. His favorite player growing up was Dr. J. And he said he still remembers to this day being a little boy, being way up there in the bleacher, going to see Dr. J play live. And his co-host was like, he's like, I'll be honest with you, that experience is the reason why you're here now. He's like, think of how differently your life would be if Dr. J didn't play. You probably would have been like, oh, I can't believe this guy. Because he went to a Philly game. This is when Jay was playing, he was in, where was he at? He was in Indiana. He was in Indiana, and Dr. J was playing against the Pacers then. And so he's the only person in there with a Philly jersey on, trying to see Dr. J play. And he was like, but he was saying like, that would have changed your whole life. You might not have gotten into, sports the way you have if he didn't show up for that one game. And it's like these parents work hard for their tickets. And tickets are way more expensive than they were back then. So these parents are working hard to try to take their kids to games, and the players aren't playing. And so not only are we, people are going to be like, I'm not going to go. Why not? Because if I go, is so-and-so really going to play? Is LeBron going to play? Is Curry going to play? Is he going to sit out for rest? Like, you can't play millions of dollars, bro. Like, I don't understand missing games. Like, I don't know. It's always bothered me. I never liked it. I never liked I need the rest. You know what I'm saying? You got the whole off season. You get paid millions for this. If you can't handle it, then retire. It's simple. It's not supposed to be easy. So now we have the 65 game rule, and it's like, it's stupid that we need it. That's the thing. We need it. But because we got guys playing 30 games a season so they fresh for the playoffs. And it's like, come on, man. It's ridiculous. So it comes down to the ultimate real debate. Is load management a weakness, or is it smart business? What's your opinion?
I think it's a weakness. I'm going to ask you this because we're talking about injuries. How much differently would you have looked at Paul George when we went to that Magic game when they played the Pacers if he would have sat out?
Yeah, it would have been bad, for sure. To spend that money on those tickets and yeah, for sure.
So I'll say load management is a weakness of the game. I'll say the biggest one is Kawhi Leonard. Like, he's the biggest example because he probably plays half the season at most, right? And he's one of the highest paid players. Like, me and you, we can't go to our job and say, you know what, I'm gonna work half of the year, but I still want to get paid a full salary.
full salary, yeah. And then it's like, bro, if you gonna miss half the year, that's fine. But you cannot take your ass out there and get hurt in the playoffs. You played 38 games and somehow got hurt in the playoffs and you done for the year. That's insane to me, Money.
It is.
It's like, come on, bro. You might as well have played. It's like, it's no way you this fragile. You need to see a doctor then. Get a full body examination on why you. It's like with Christian Watson, the wide receiver for the Packers. He kept dealing with those every year it's like he pulled his hamstring. And then it's like, then he got a evaluation of his body. And it was like, oh, one of his legs is bigger than the other one. So he has a muscle imbalance, which leads to the hamstring pulls. So he got surgically paired, which is why he was missed most of this year, I believe. And now it's like, okay, we're going to see how long this hold up. But it's no reason for some of these injuries. There's no reason for you to have the repeated same injury and you be like, hey, let me go get checked out. The thought of getting yourself checked out never crossed your mind?
At the beginning?
As a highly skilled athlete, you don't love the game. You're just trying to collect the check. And that's fine. I ain't going to knock nobody hustle, but as a fan, it sucks. It sucks that I take my 6-year-old son who's obsessed with Kawhi Leonard to a Clippers game after driving there, because let's say I stay in California. I drive to the stadium, pay extra for parking, pay all that money for the expensive-ass, trash-ass food, pay for these tickets, that aren't going to be good because I can't afford a good seats. I'm a normal person working a 9 to 5. Just for them to say, oh, Kawhi not playing tonight. Now I got to explain to him why their star player isn't playing. Because he needs rest. I know when I play, I never wanted to come out the game. So the fact that people are missing games, it would just never make sense to me. That's just my
Jay,
opinion.
here's my thing. Here's my opinion, bro. Kawhi Leonard they should have in your contract, if you play half of the games, you get half of your salary.
You no good to me. We trying to win a championship and you missing games. Then you like,
Yeah.
I'll be there for the playoffs. Because that's what it started. It started saying, oh, I'll be available for the playoffs. And it's like, okay, cool. The playoffs get here and you get hurt. Then what? We just lost a whole year. Because then it's like, if you play these games, at least we could have got a better seeding. So if we're like a 5th or 6th seed, because we're saving you all year, then we end up losing you in the second game of the first round. Now, instead of us playing a cupcake team, like who's a bad team I can think of off the top of my head?
The
Orlando's
Kings.
bad this year.
The Kings.
Or the Kings. Instead of you playing the Kings, you know what I'm saying? Now you playing the Lakers or the Spurs or Detroit. And I know these teams are across. I'm just saying these are the first good teams that's popping in my head. But now you're playing one of these tougher seeded opponents instead of having a cupcake. So yeah, it's ridiculous to me.
And I agree with what you said about a player sitting out, and then it's like you're no good. Like you said with the playoffs. Okay, we're gonna wait till the playoffs. You get injured in the playoffs, you might as well play the whole season. Maybe we could have got the first seed.
Exactly.
You could have played sparingly.
So, I would accept it more if he was on the minute restriction. Like, yeah, Kawhi's going to play every game, but he's only going to play like 22, 25 minutes. It's like, that sucks for y'all, but hey, if that's what it takes for him to play every game, then cool. But not playing at all? I was always taught the only way you get better at basketball is to play basketball. The only way you get better at football is to play football. So, it's a sad situation going on in the NBA. But one thing I will say, we are seeing more guys play. Which, like, I think that leads to the spike in the viewership this year because a lot of these players want those incentives of, okay, if I play 65 games, I get all this extra money in my contract. So we seeing guys actually play this year,
Which is great to see because we don't want to see this load management crap. It's like, bro,
no,
you're playing like you're playing a sport that people would kill to be in your situation, and you're like, nah.
Yep. I'm good.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
And it's sad we got to use Kawhi as an example, but he's the best example for it because even though he's won championship, he's the poster boy for it.
Yeah.
Because think about it, when LeBron was winning his championships at Miami and stuff, he was playing most of the season.
Yep. I think LeBron played 70 games that year for Miami.
I think so. Yeah, him and Wade and Bosh and all them, they were playing basically all the games.
They played every game, yeah. Anything else you want to add?
I'll say, it's sad when a parent has to do all that extra work to take their kid to their favorite team and the player that they're looking to see play doesn't even play. It's like, bro, I might as well ain't bought the tickets.
You paying full price for these tickets to watch G Leaguer players. If I wanted to go to a G League game, I'll go to a G League game. I'm playing for NBA games. Paying for it was like a couple years ago when New York had all them players injured. When Melo was hurt, J.R. Smith was hurt. The whole team was hurt, and they just had a bunch of random people out there, and they were bad. It was like that. At least those players were at least hurt instead of resting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, why would I pay to watch these guys play?
I agree. I'm totally with you.
Thanksgiving football, one of my favorite days of the year. You get 3 football games in 1 year. How can you beat that besides having a good, hot plate of food in your lap? You can't. You simply can't. First game of the day, I believe, was Chiefs versus Dallas. The Cowboys beat the Kansas City Chiefs 31-28 on Thanksgiving Day at AT&T Stadium. The game then came down to the final minutes. Patrick hit Hollywood Brown for a 10-yard touchdown to cut it to 31-28 with 3:27 left in the game, but Kansas City was never able to get the ball back. Dallas quarterback Dak Prescott went 27-39, 320 yards for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. A solid performance under the pressure of they need to win games. C. Lamb had a bounce back game, going from the 4 drop passes he had last week to none this way. 7 catches for 112 yards and a touchdown, and a big play down the sideline for 40 yards. He was a big part of it and key contributor to a major win for them. On the Kansas City side, Patrick Mahomes was 23 of 34 for 261 and 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. A great stat line because Pat has been turning the ball over a lot, so this is a really good stat line for him. But the Chiefs defense, shockingly, didn't show up, and they had a ton of penalties against them. Dallas dominated overall. More total yards. They controlled the clock from beginning to end, and it led to the score that we've seen. For the Cowboys side, this huge bounce back win and Prescott offense showed that they can handle the high pressure. They moved their record now to 6-5-1 and are alive in the playoff hunt. For the Chiefs, this loss drops them to 6-6. A big hit for their playoff hopes and a reminder with Mahomes playing at a high level, mistakes and defensive lapses will cost them. This game exposes all the concerns we had year long about the Kansas City weakness, especially on their defense and discipline this year with one of their penalties. With so many penalties, this year. They need to tighten up if they really want to have a chance to salvage this season. What are your thoughts on this game?
I'm going to say the crazy thing is, Jay, the game that we thought they might have lost, they won. And the game we thought they would easily win, they lost. I thought this would have been a cakewalk for them because they beat the better team in Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. And they lost to the Cowboys. I think it's crazy to think about that they would have number 1 seeds and high seeds, and Patrick Mahomes wasn't playing at his best, and now he's playing at his best, and they're struggling.
Yeah,
I don't understand it. Yeah, I
don't either. I mean, in this defense, they usually have relied on the defense. The defense hasn't been consistent this year. Secondary play has been bad. Defensive line, Chris Jones, I didn't even know he was on the team still. That's how little impact he's made this year so far. You know, they're starting to look old, which is crazy because they have one of the younger defenses. So I guess their age is starting to catch up with them. But so that means in a year or two they're going to be good again. But they don't look good as a defense. The offense is finally coming together. They got all their pieces because for a long while there's a point in time where Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Xavier Worthy, they never played the game together before this year. Can you believe that?
No, I got to make a comment.
Now they have all 3 of them back, and it's looking bad.
They should have traded for Breece Hall. They should have made that trade.
I mean, Kareem Hunt's been good. We can't knock Kareem Hunt. He's been good. I got a stat for you since you brought up Kareem Hunt.
Okay.
On 3rd and short or 4th and 1, who has the most conversions in the NFL?
Everybody would have probably guessed
Philly
Jonathan.
in the push?
Everybody would have thought Jonathan Taylor of Philly.
It's Kareem Hunt.
Wow.
Kansas City has converted the most 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 this year. Kareem Hunt can get you 1 yard. That's been his strongest shoot. And he's had some pretty good games, especially late. I want to say he's on a 5-game streak of scoring a touchdown. So he's been good for them. Granted, I do agree with you. Breece Hall would have gave him a bigger punch because he's a better running back than Kareem at this stage in his career. But Kareem has been good.
Hey, Jay, what is a 3rd round pick going to get you if you don't make the playoffs?
I mean, yeah, they felt that was too expensive. They said they'll do a 4th, not a 3rd. So they felt that was too expensive for them.
Hey, now they might not make the playoffs. I would have made the trade because I look at it like this. You're one of the best drafting teams. Why do you care about a 3rd round pick that much? It's not like it's a 2nd. Like, if you want an extra, hey Jay, if you want an extra 3rd, you could trade down in the 2nd round or something.
My only pushback, or I won't even say pushback, my guess would be is they're so used to drafting late because of their success in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. That 3rd round pick is essentially a 4th round pick for them. And that 4th round pick is essentially a 5th round pick. So in their mind, we'll give you a 5th, but we can't give you a 4th.
So
that's the only logic I can, you know what I'm saying? That's the only logic I can come up with.
Their biggest problem is running. Like, it's not getting first downs, it's running. You know, you need a running back that can do it all because Pacheco has been up and down. Kareem Hunt has been a great, 3rd down running back, but besides that, he's been okay. Breece Hall has explosiveness. We've seen him carrying the Jets offense some games by himself. Justin
Give
Fields
him a
has 74 yards.
competent O line. He'll be pretty good. So
Yeah.
I mean, since since Isaiah Pacheco broke his leg, he hasn't been the same player. He's starting, and then when he was starting to slowly get back into it, he hurt his knee. So now he's back out there with the knee brace, and he's just not the guy anymore, sadly. I mean, maybe he's still young. I think he's 25. So there's a hope that he can finally have a full off season to where instead of rehabbing, he's actually training and working on his craft. But we shall see.
I got a question for you.
What's up?
If you were the Chiefs, would you have gave up a second for A-Chain? Or first?
A second for A-Chain?
Or first?
Man, I don't know. I mean, he's one of the best running backs in the league, definitely, but he's small, bro. We seen him early in his career deal with injuries. He's going to continue to deal with injuries. You know
Here's the thing, though, Jay.
We seen the ceiling, though. We seen them with Jerick McKinnon, how useful he was with the Kansas City. He was a great receiving back for them. And obviously, you and I both know Devon A-Chain is better than Jerick McKinnon. So you got a Jerick McKinnon 2.0. I don't know, man. It's hard to say no to. I'll say that.
Jay, A-Chain can carry an offense by himself. You know the funny thing is, Jay? Look at his numbers this year compared to last year. His numbers are better without Tyreek Hill. So you put him on the Chiefs.
They put more of a load on him once Tyreek went out,
bro,
and he stepped up.
With Patrick Mahomes, bro.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes probably wouldn't have to throw the ball. He'd be sitting on the sideline sipping on some tea. you know, Jay, here's
he's
the
a
thing.
great receiving back. You know what I'm saying? He has great hands out the backfield. I think he's second.
And he's still under contract.
Behind CMC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, second, and he's under contract. Here's the thing, Jay. Me and you aren't caring about picks. We're caring about our legacy with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Yes, we can get those picks, but the thing is, Andy Reid is going to retire soon. You got what, 3 years?
We're on the clock. Maybe,
so I would have gave him them pick. Hey, who can I go get to change the team? A-Chain, y'all want a first? Cool. We expect that jump to be 32 anyways. Trade the first or whatever and go get your championships, because once Andy Reid is gone, we don't know what his team's going to look like. You got a Hall of Fame quarterback, yes, but how many times have we seen a Hall of Fame quarterback lose their coach and they don't look the same? Like Dan Marino, he went to one Super Bowl, never made it back.
Jeff Fisher had us thinking Jared Goff was a bust.
Yeah.
So coach is everything. And hold on, let me look something up real quick. When does Patrick contract end?
I thought it was 2027. Or that's too late. Because I'll say that's a big thing regarding the Chiefs is, that dynamic. Hey Jay, here's another thing. How long are we expecting Patrick Mahomes to continue to play at a high level like this?
His contract is listed to last until 2031, but they have both agreed to revisit it in 2026. So it has been confirmed by Reid himself that he will play to the end of Patrick's contract. So as it stands right now, he will be there for 6 more years. So you got a 6-year window with Reid at best, because anything, we don't know the future money. He could do 3 and be done.
Yeah,
so
that's what I was thinking.
You have 6.
You got to make them moves, Jay. You got to make them moves, because
it's hard to argue with you.
Because think about this, Jay. I'm thinking it's closer to 3 years with Andy Reid, because we don't, especially when you're older, your body get tired.
He's been around a long time. He's a big dude too, man.
So I'm like, you know what, Jay? Forget, you gotta look at the Rams. They gave away their picks and they still was winning. But it's all about this. You have Patrick Mahomes. You don't want him doing all this extra stuff. You get, if you would have gave the Dolphins a first, I guarantee they would have traded A-Chain to you.
Yeah. And it's like you look at what Patrick Mahomes did not run the regular season.
Yes.
That has always been like his superpower in his back pocket. Like, hey, worst case scenario in the playoffs, I got it in my back pocket. I think Pat's up to 300 yards rushing this year, which is nuts for him.
Yeah. He can get injured, Jay.
He was leading. I think he still is. He was leading the team in rushing at one point. I think he still is.
Jay, let's just call
Patrick
it what
Mahomes
it is.
ain't a running quarterback.
Jay, let's just call it what it is. What if all his running Patrick Mahomes gets injured? Your season's done.
Yeah, you see.
You get what I'm saying? So I'm like, you need to
which
get
maybe
somebody.
that's why the GM didn't want to trade the second or first, because the fear since Patrick is running more, and because he got some bad ankles. Forbid he takes a serious ankle injury and he can't come back and play. They gonna need that first round pick.
Well, if you got A-Chain or Brees Hall, he shouldn't be running that much at that point. Let's just be real.
I mean, I can't argue with you. You're right.
Let's just be real. Our running back is supposed to be running the doggone ball, not the quarterback. He's not Lamar Jackson.
I personally like the Brees Hall fit better because Brees Hall is a good receiving back as well.
I think Brees. We like Brees. I think you'll like Brees Hall better because Brees Hall's a bigger back too, and we prefer the bigger backs. And Brees Hall has explosiveness, and he's a bigger back. So I agree with you on that one. But I'm like, A-Chain is probably one of the most explosive running backs in the league. Look at what he did.
A-Chain reminds me of a faster Shady McCoy.
You know what, Jay? I was about to say Darren Sproles 2.0.
Darren Sproles? He's bigger than Darren, though. Darren Sproles like 5'6".
No, I was saying by size, because Darren Sproles was what, 170, 180?
Yeah, which is big for a guy that's 5'6". But, because A-Chain's 5'8", 188, I believe.
Well, they say he's 5'9", but he probably 5'8". Let's just call it what it is.
Yeah. They give everybody an inch. They gave Tua an inch. They gave Kyler Murray an inch. They gave Tyreek Hill 2 inches. Did you ever look this, bro? I looked this up one day. I went down a rabbit hole. This is completely unrelated, y'all. But so I looked this up one day because I'm like, why is every place listing Tyreek Hill 5'11", 5'10"? And I'm like, what was he at his pro day? I looked up his measurements. Tyreek came in at 5'8" and a quarter. How does he go from 5'8" and a quarter? Because normally if you like 5'8", 7/8, then they'll give you that inch. Like, you're almost there. We'll say 5'9". He's 5'8" and a quarter. That means you're barely 5'8". Did you magically grow 2 inches in the NFL? No.
Unless they measure him with shoes on.
They have to be. He grew 2 inches. When do we hear about guys growing 2 inches? In college, yes, because I grew 2 inches in college. No, he ain't grown no damn 2 inches. Tyreek Hill is 5'8", 5'7".
Hey, matter of fact, later this season, we're gonna have the discussion when the playoff race comes out. We're gonna have the discussion is the Chiefs dynasty over, or what do we think is going on with the Chiefs dynasty, depending on what happens. We might have that conversation.
No, 1 year don't mean it's over. Look at the Patriots run. Some people say the Patriots dynasty was 10 years. I personally say it was 2 separate ones, but.
No, I don't think it's over. But I'm saying we're gonna have a discussion of what we think, what we would do in those situations. Like I liked how you did that GMJ for the Steelers.
Oh, you want to do that? Yeah, we can do that for sure. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
All right, the next game, the Lions versus the Packers. Take the lead, Money.
I'll say the Lions versus the Packers. I actually watched this game, bro. Jahmyr Gibbs did his thing. I'm gonna bring up Jahmyr Gibbs' stats, right? Because he really, Jahmyr Gibbs is another running back. He was taken high, and me and you were like, why was he taking this high? Like, because he came from Alabama, right? And we're like, So Jahmyr Gibbs had 20 carries for 68 yards, right? But he looked explosive when he was running the ball, bro. He looked like he was doing whatever he could to try to get the win for the team. And it's just that I seen that Micah Parsons was making a difference for them boys. Micah Parsons had
his coming out game.
Yeah.
You was a week early on that, Money. You said last week Micah Parsons would make his coming out game. That was his coming out. I kept seeing his name. I kept seeing him flashing on the screen like, damn, Micah Parsons again? So you was a week early on that tape.
I told you, bro. He's starting to make an impact. I think he's finally getting comfortable with the team. And
yeah.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna make a big point. I'm gonna think Dallas is going to regret that trade because you traded him to the NFC.
Their biggest Achilles heel's been their defense this year.
Jay, let's just call it what it is. If you're gonna trade a player, you're gonna trade him to the AFC.
Correct.
That's what me.
Especially that level of player. We're not trading Rico. And none against Rico. I love Rico. Rico's been sensational for Carolina.
Yes.
But the level of player Rico went undrafted. You know what I'm saying? Michael Parsons was, a stud, blue chipper. Went to
Top
linebacker
15
university. Top 15 pick. You know what I'm saying? All the things that check the box. So you can trade a guy like Rico to the Packers. You don't trade Michael Parsons. That's like trading Pat Surtain to the Chiefs.
No, that's different. That's different because you trade him in the division too. That's. But I'll say maybe if you traded Patrick Mahomes, Pat Surtain to the Bills. I'll say the Bills would be a better.
To the Bills,
argument.
okay.
Yeah.
Still,
bro, that'd be scary.
It would be. So think about the worst case scenario. Dallas makes the NFC Championship against the Packers. You think Michael finna let the opportunity slip through his fingers to have the opportunity to put out a team that gave up on him, put him out?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's GG's too down. He's gonna be in the backfield every play. I'll say, as a matter of fact, even though Michael Parsons didn't have a crazy sack game, I'll say Jared Goff. I have to say this: Jared Goff had a sensational game. 20 of 26, 256 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a sensational game. St. Brown he got hurt, bro. He had no catches. Yeah. He had no catches.
He got hurt
That's
in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he wasn't able to make an impact. Jared Goff, another thing you didn't mention with him, he threw 2 incomplete passes to start that second half, and he made it, I think I'll say the whole third quarter, he didn't throw an incomplete pass. So the first incomplete pass he threw in the fourth quarter was a drop.
Wow.
And so, then he started off 0 for 4 actually, and then he went on that run and just completing a bunch of passes in a row. He just got hot and was hitting guys. And I got to give J-Mo his props. I'm not the biggest fan of Jameson Williams, but he definitely stepped up when they needed him to step up, and he showed he's number one, which could lead to teams making a phone call to trade for him to be their number one wide receiver. But we'll see. He's a year away from a contract. He's coming up on that, so I'm sure he's going to want to get paid, which he's been hella inconsistent, so obviously the Lions aren't going to pay him. But if you're a struggling team who needs a number one receiver,
Bills.
Buffalo, or the Raiders need a number one receiver. How much are you willing to pay for a guy like Jameson? And the Raiders, I don't know how much you know about the Raiders' history. The Raiders are known for taking fast players. Remember Hayward Bay?
Jay, remember they had that track team. They had that track team. Jacoby Ford, Hayward Bay. They had
the track team.
They had who they had at running back. He was from Arkansas. He was nasty. McFadden. They had McFadden in the backfield.
Yep, McFadden was fast too. Yep, all them boys were fast. Even their quarterback.
Their corner was fast.
Pryor was fast. Pryor has the NFL record for longest run by a quarterback still.
Their defense was fast too, boy.
So they are known for their speed.
Now I got to talk about.
So I think he'll be a great fit there.
I got to talk about the Packers.
Let's talk about the Packers side.
That boy Jordan Love, 18 of 30, 234 yards and 4 TDs. That boy was balling. No interceptions too. I'll say
he's good for giving you one.
Bro, I'm gonna say this, bro. Weeks, he might transform to be their number one, bro. I remember that catch he made in the end zone. The defender would try to go for the pick. Why didn't he just try to hit him? You know what play I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Why he didn't try to hit him? Instead of he went for the pick. Jay, and then he got both feet. He got sidestepped, yeah. He got both feet down. It was a great catch. At the beginning when I seen that play, I was like, bro, he didn't get it. And everybody around me is like, nah, that's a touchdown. I'm like, he only got 1 foot down. And then they showed the replay and slowed it down. I was like, yeah, that's a catch. But I don't know how he made that catch, bro.
But so Wicks is trying to emerge as the number one. Him and Christian Watson both had big games. So yes. I think that's honestly one of their biggest issues on offense. They don't have this is our guy on their offense.
6 catches, 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had a great.
He has a really good game.
What year is he in? Do you know?
Wicks, I want to say, is in year 3.
Okay, because I thought Watson was going to be the number one eventually, but based off of size,
Injuries.
the talent. Yeah, but then he had injuries, and I'm like, yeah, bro, he can't stay healthy. He can't.
And then
stay
they took
healthy.
Golden in the first round, so theoretically, Golden's supposed to become their number one.
Bro, Parsons had almost. We don't say 3 sacks because they say 2.5. We say 3 sacks, bro. 3 sacks against them boys. So like you said, Jay, I was a week early.
Yes, he was a week early.
Because man,
But it was a good one to say the least.
he might be generational, bro. Like we're not gonna. I don't think we'll ever see another defensive player that we can sit back and say this dude can literally play anywhere on defense.
Yeah. And Myles Garrett's amazing, but Myles Garrett can't cover no damn body.
Michael Parsons put at linebacker. I'll say the only position we have to argue about is corner, but I think he can play slot corner. I don't know about outside.
He can play safety. We've seen him cover receivers in his rookie year, so.
You know what, Jay? He probably can play corner if you tell him, hey, you're gonna play corner. He'll probably get a little lighter, and then he can play corner.
Yeah, he would probably definitely lose some weight. Yeah.
So you know what? Like we say, Myles Garrett is great, but I don't think even if Myles Garrett dropped 30 pounds, he couldn't go play corner. So, but
he can't cover nobody.
So
Myles Garrett been big since high school.
Yeah. So I'll say Parsons is he might be a once in a generation player because a player that can cover, can pass rush, can do anything. He can play linebacker, safety. He can play defensive tackle. He can play corner.
Yeah.
He plays slot corner. Like, dude can do anything. And you traded him for 2 firsts to the Packers, who, let's just be real, the Packers, it's going to be a late because they're going to play the playoffs.
They're always competitive. They are always competitive.
Let's just call it what it is. Now you want me to talk about the next game that I got?
The last game of Thursday night, the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Baltimore Ravens.
I got to tell you this, Jay. I was watching it till I stopped watching it. That game was a total and absolute blowout. Okay, bro, I'm watching the game. That boy Lamar, I'm going to talk about Lamar's stats, bro. That boy looked like straight up trash. Bro, he ain't throw 1 touchdown. 17 of 32, 246, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. Jay, remember we talked about Derrick Henry? Why does he only have 10 carries for 60 yards? Why does Derrick Henry only have 10 carries? Clue. You threw the ball 32 times.
I think they're starting to split the carries out. Because I saw Keaton got a rushing touchdown. Why the hell is your third string running back getting a rushing touchdown?
I'm going to break down a rushing for you, bro. So, Keaton Mitchell got 2 rushes for 19 yards. Ali, I don't even know who his whole name, but Ali got 4 carries for 17 yards. Those 4 carries should have went to Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And Lamar
Jackson is Justice Hill
6.
Healthy?
Justice Hill, I think so, but Justice Hill don't have no carries. Lamar Jackson was the second leading rusher with carries, 6 for 27. Why Derrick Henry only have 10 carries? You're giving it to dudes.
There's no reason for that.
You're giving it, like, Lamar Jackson threw the ball 32 times. Why? It should be 20.
Your third string running back should not have carries. I'm sorry.
4
I'm fine
carries.
with, the 2. Your third string running back shouldn't have any touches.
4 carries, Jay.
Yeah.
And Isaiah Likely had a good game. 5 catches, 95 yards. But Lamar didn't throw 1 touchdown. Derrick Henry was your 3rd leading receiver with 1 catch for 44 yards. So, Jay,
yikes.
You know what? The Ravens might need another doggone wide receiver because they've used the more resources like we talked about for a wide receiver. But guess what, bro? They ain't got one.
But you got to look at it like this. If you're the owner, and I'm telling you, this is your money, I'm telling you how to spend it. Keep in mind. I'm telling you, we need to get a receiver next year. Wavy, you know we spent the last 6 out of 8 first-round picks on receivers? No team in the NFL has spent more draft picks in the first and second round on wide receivers than the Baltimore Ravens in the past 15 years.
Hey, Jay, we're not drafting a receiver late. We're trading for one, or we're going up there and getting one of the top ones. We're not sitting back at 25 drafting a doggone receiver again.
And I like that idea. I'd rather, at this point, since we clearly can't get it right, we got to go get one we know proven. Go get a. You're not gonna get T. Higgins. That's just the first name that popped in my head. But you gotta get somebody that's proven. You gotta get somebody proven in there. Who?
Waddle is the only one I think that's available besides Jameson Williams.
He may be available. Who's another certified number one?
That's the only, like, nobody's trading number ones. Be real with you. Unless you're going to hope that Tyreek Hill.
A.J. Brown could become available next year.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
You got to go, like you said, you got to get one,
trade
bro.
For one. You got to trade for a proven guy now, yeah. Even if you want to go for potential, we can go off potential at this point. Instead of us just drafting a guy and he's terrible. Go get Dante Thornton. At least he's 6'5", running 4.3 40. So you can say the potential's there.
Hey, Jay.
We got to do something, bro.
Jay, I agree with you. Like I said, if you're going to get a receiver, bro, and you don't trade for one, go and get one of the highest rated ones. Trade all the way up and say, hey, let me get, like I would wait till 2027 and I would go get one of them boys. I would go get one of them boys out there. Ryan Williams, he not looking the greatest, but shoot, I'll be thinking long and hard about him instead of the receivers we got. At least he's 6'3".
That's true.
You know, but I think we both agree Ohio State receivers is great, but I'm looking at him like you looked at Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, which is why I haven't argued on you. Anytime you bring him up, I haven't gave you no pushback because I know how I had the what they call. I had the stars in my eyes with Marvin. So Marvin, Jeremiah looks good. No ands bust about it. He looks good. He has the size. He has the speed.
Yeah. So, and I'll say this: we're going to talk about the Bengals, right, bro? How did they hold the Ravens to 14 points when they have had one of the worst defenses in the league? Explain it to me.
They showed up. Them boys play for Joe Burrow, man. That's all it takes, bro. Do you remember a couple years? Not a couple. It was a while ago. We was in high school when Peyton was with the Broncos, right?
Yes.
And anytime they put in what's his name, I can't think of his name. The 6'7" dude.
Oh, Brock Osweiler.
When they put Osweiler in, that O-line couldn't block a cold. They put Peyton in, then they started playing inspired.
So you think? Let me ask you this, Jay, because you play football. I'm gonna ask you, ins and outs. So did the team have a basic different spark when they had the starting quarterback compared to the backup? Did you feel like the backup could go out there and help you win games? Just be honest.
Honestly, it's weird because when I played, I had a better repertoire with our backup quarterback. So when our starting quarterback got hurt, my numbers spiked. So I loved it. I went from 1 catch, 2 catch, 1 catch to 4 catches, 6 catches, 4 catches, 8 catches. So my numbers went up when he came out. So, so it was definitely bittersweet because the starting quarterback was my roommate. So it was definitely bittersweet because it's like, this is my boy, but he throwing me the ball. So
that's why I always have to ask your insight on that because I'll say Joe Burrow. I don't know if it's his swagger or what, bro, but it seemed like the team play aspire for him, bro.
Yeah.
And
it definitely did.
Hey Jay, we got to bring up your boy Jamar Chase. This dude had 14 targets. Joe Burrow threw it to him 14 times. He had
he gonna get the ball, bro.
7 for 110, Jay. 14 targets, bro.
You throw any wide receiver in the NFL the ball that many times, they gonna do something with it. They in the NFL for a reason, man.
Is he the most targeted wide receiver in the NFL?
I'm 90% sure he is.
Well, remember this though, Jay. They didn't have T. Higgins that game, so let's just call it.
Andre Yushavas is not a bad receiver.
He only had 2 targets, bro. 1 catch, 29 yards. But
like I said, bro,
Jamar Chase,
anybody that many
14.
opportunities. Yeah, insane. I mean, Burrow looked all right for his first game back after missing so much time. It's still a little questionable. As I saw a couple rumors out there that they believe Joe's foot isn't 100% healthy. They kind of rushed it back because me personally, I believe he was done. There was no way he was coming back, especially after getting the surgery.
Hey, explain to the users turf toe. Did we talk about that last episode, or did we just have a conversation?
No. Basically, Joe Burrow had, from my understanding, a very severe turf toe. And to people who don't know at home, turf toe is essentially when your big toe goes back and touches the top of your foot in some way, shape, or form. And you'll feel a pop in the joint. And it's severity and it's grades, like they do pulls and stuff like that. So he had a grade 3 supposedly, and he got it surgically repaired, and it's a bad injury. It's led to guys like Shedeur Sanders retiring. It's a couple offensive linemen who retired from this injury. I myself dealt with it. I got into high school, and it lingered for 3 years for me personally before it finally was done. But
how did it feel? Yeah,
so Joe Burrow went and had the surgery. It sucks. It sucks because all your cutting and turning is that's dead. And, I was out, believe it or not, a lot of people won't know, Money knows, I was more of an elusive receiver. So all that shiftiness that I like to do, it was dead because you putting that pressure on that foot to cut and you can't do it. So it was a lot of straight line running.
Because I remember
this was tangent. I sometimes think of how much faster my track times would have been if I didn't deal with it.
Really? I never knew you had turf toe during track season. So senior year?
Oh yeah, it was bad. Yeah.
Wow, bro, I never knew that. You telling me something I never knew. So you probably could have broke a 40 something, high 40 something.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I mean, I did ran 49. Could have probably got a 48.
I was thinking 46 possibly. But I'll say, I'm glad we're out of this pod because I'm you get to explain to people the turf toe because I've never experienced turf toe. I always thought that it was, I didn't know what type of injury it was because I never really did research on it. I just hear turf toe and I'm what's that injury? And you're like, bro, this is what it is and everything.
It sucks. Wow. So the people who have never experienced it, some people think of it like a jam finger, like a real bad jam finger. Like when it first happened and it sucks, that's how it feels all the time. So the only way it really heals, for me, the way it healed was I had to get off it. So I didn't play. I know when I first got it, I was done. It was I was one of the JV kids that got moved up to varsity. So when I got that injury though, I was done for the rest of the year. I was done. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything on it. So
man, that's interesting. Hey, I know you're ready to have this conversation. It's your boy. It's about Shedeur. He's been a real controversial topic. Everybody's been talking about it. How did you feel about him in his first start versus the Raiders? Because this is the next topic. We're moving on to Shedeur and his start against the Raiders. And then we're going to talk about later what we expect against the 49ers.
I felt like he had a good game. I'm not going to say great. I feel like he had a good game. He had a really bad interception. Then he had what we've seen he can do at Colorado, a beautiful throw down the sideline. And people don't talk about Shedeur for having the strongest arm. So for him to make that throw, I mean, it just shows that he has the tools. So very proud of him. He went 11-20. People are going to try to downplay it. He did what he was supposed to do. Obviously, when you have one of the best defenses in football, that helps too, with them able to come away with 10 sacks in the game, which is nuts. So I'm not going to discredit no one. He would have had another touchdown, I believe, if it wasn't for Jerry Jeudy high stepping on the sideline and fumbling. So he could have potentially had two. He could have had another one when Isaiah Bond caught that and got tackled on the one. So he could have potentially had 3 touchdowns, but he came away with 1. And like I said, the interception was bad. I think he rushed his process. It looked like he got in a hurry with his read, and he just threw it. It was a bad throw. It was a bad decision. There's nothing to defend that. But outside of that, I thought he played really well.
What was his interception to a D lineman? Didn't a D lineman drop into coverage?
It was it a D lineman? I think it was one of them edge rushing linebackers. Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't
I'll
see
say
him dropping back. I guess he thought he was going to get the flat, and he didn't get the flat.
I'll say that reminds me of when Christian Wilkins dropped into coverage and got a pick. You know, that's something that you don't expect. D lineman dropping into coverage. Like, you dudes do that in Madden all the time. But in real life, you don't see that. You know, and so it was one of those things he didn't expect it, and he probably wish he could have had that one back. I'll say, to me, it looked like the team looked more confident with him at quarterback. It's like, hey, we got somebody that can extend plays and have a arm that can make a play, because Gabriel would have never took a chance to throw that pass to Bond. I thought Isaiah Bond should have scored on that play.
Yeah, I agree. I think he should have scored too. There's no way you should have let the same mindset Jameis had that I'm finna get in this end zone. When he caught that pass, that's how Isaiah Bond should have been. He should have been like, ain't nothing stopping me from getting. But I do agree with you. I think the team played inspired. I think they definitely took it up a notch. Like, all right, you know, we want to make him look good. And so I'm sure Shedeur is grateful for that. But he got a tougher matchup this Sunday. He's playing the 49ers. Granted, this is a banged up 49ers. They still play good in the absence of all their stars. So I think this is another good time. And the people are going to try to downplay and say, oh, he played the Raiders. The Raiders are a bad team. Well, if he would have played good against that bad team, y'all would have killed him. So we're not going to move the goalpost and discredit what he did. So he beat the team that he was supposed to beat, and he did what he was supposed to do. Now he's playing a decent team. You know, like I said, the Niners will look good even with their injuries. They're missing Bosa. They're missing Warner. I want to say Hufanga. Not Hufanga.
No, Hufanga left. He went to the Broncos.
Now, it's another dude with a weird name at safety.
I don't know their safeties, because for some reason the 49ers get all these good guys, and it be like some dude we never even heard of, and they become a star on that team.
He got a weird name like Hufanga. That's why I went to Hufanga first. It's something I forget. I'll probably have it posted in the video. But I believe he's hurt as well. So, but like I said, they've been playing well. They have a positive record. I believe they are 9-4, 8-4.
Around 8-4. I thought it was 7-3.
They're around there somewhere. So, no, they can't because they ain't had their bye yet. So
hold on, let me see their record while I'm checking. I had 8-4. You're right. They're 8-4.
Yeah. So they're 8-4. Yeah, because I know their bye week is week 14. That's the only reason I knew they couldn't be 7 and yeah. So, but yeah. So
they're fighting for the
another
number
great
one
challenge
seed,
for
bro.
them. Yeah. So if Shedeur go out there and do what he's supposed to do, they've already gave him the announcement that he's going to be the starter, even with Gabriel back, and Kevin Stefanski looks bitter, and we're gonna see, man. I'm rooting for him. Obviously, we're all rooting for him, but at the end of the day, he has to take advantage of this opportunity.
I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna ask you your thoughts on what do you think he's gonna do versus the 49ers. I'm gonna say this. I think Judkins is gonna have, as long as Shedeur's the starter, I think Judkins is gonna have a higher usage rate, because with Shedeur you can run that play action.
Yeah.
Because he showed he has the arm to be able to throw over the top. So I think you're going to keep running with Judkins. The defense is going to come in. You're going to hit him with a play action. And I think he might have some rapport with Bond, because that throw is, I trust my receiver throw.
No, for sure. And Bond was one of them guys, I believe, on the practice squad. So guys like that, he has that rapport with. And guys like Jerry Jeudy, he was, that was his first week practicing with. But I'm excited for him, honestly. I'm rooting for him. I'm excited for him. And, there's going to be some people that just hate how confident he is in himself, and let them hate, They hate to see a confident black man. And so I'm rooting for him. I wish him the best. As long as he keep doing what he's doing, stay within the system. Don't do his biggest flaw, which is hold on to the ball and do 14 spins, which he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He's a rookie quarterback. Bad habits die hard. Ain't that the saying, Money?
Yeah.
Or something along those lines? Yeah. So he's going to do that at some point, and we're all going to be like, why? But he hasn't got that out of the system yet. So I expect him to play well. I think the team will still play expire for him. As long as he plays well, I think Stefanski will be out of there. So, and I think that's the best thing for Shedeur. Obviously, I'd never want nobody to lose their job, but your job is to coach these players. not be bitter and not want to coach him and have an attitude when you get asked about him and stuff like that. So, because he didn't seem happy at all or anything when he was telling him that Shedeur was going to be a starter. He was almost saying it like it came from someone above him, that's the decision.
The owner, GM, one of the two made that call.
Because after the game, he was like, I'm not going to commit to anything. Then the next day, he's like, Shedeur's going to be the starter. And it's like you just said yesterday, you're not going to commit. So it definitely seemed like it came from someone above him.
I'm going to give you this. My prediction is he throws for 200 yards and 1 touchdown. I'll say that's my prediction against the 49ers. And I'm predicting Judkins to have at least 1 touchdown. I'll say I'm expecting the game to be 27-14 49ers.
So you expect another big game from Judkins then?
Yeah. Because
Right.
remember, they don't have Bosa. Warner was he was that captain in the middle of the field.
They started running the Wildcat with Judkins. They ain't ran the Wildcat all year. Now all of a sudden they get in the red zone. They want to run the Wildcat. And it's like, come on, bro. Let Shedeur throw a slant, get him a touchdown. That kind of pissed me off. Because they never did that with Dylan Gabriel, but
a screen at
anything.
least.
You want to get him exactly. You want to get him the ball. We can get him the ball. Let's get creative. But come on now, don't take the ball out of his hand, especially when he's playing well. But like I said, I thought he played good. I won't say great. I only think he should do is keep building off that.
What's your prediction? What he does this week?
I'm pretty lockstep with you. 27-14 Niners. I think Chris McCaffrey is on a tear. So he's going to keep playing like that. He's on pace to be the first running back in NFL history to rush for 1,000 and have 1,000 receiving yards twice in a career.
Wow.
So,
Impressive.
yeah, I think he's the 700 apiece or 800 apiece.
That's impressive, bro.
So, nuts. Just a dog, man. Shout out to all the Christian McCaffrey owners in fantasy football, man. He's been a godsend for anyone who has him on their team. So,
I agree. He's been great. But the number one thing we always had with Christian McCaffrey wasn't talent. It was injuries. He's always been one of the most talented running backs every year. It's just an injury.
Talent's always been there. And then after this week, he gets a much needed week 14 break. So he gets the rest up right before they get ready for that second half of the season.
And I think the 49ers are on a mission because they're trying to get that number 1 seed. They're 2 games back? So,
And Brock Purdy has to play better.
I agree.
Brock Purdy been playing like stir fry. So he has to play better or we're going to put Mac Jones back in.
Mac Jones looked better than Brock Purdy basically this year.
He did. That's why I said. And Shanahan will put Mac back in because he's trying to win them games. Anyone that benches a number 3 overall pick for a 7th round pick, he wants to win. So if Purdy keeps playing like stir fry, he's going to put Mac back in.
I agree.
You want to do the Eagles versus the Bears? Or you want to skip over that game?
Eagles versus the Bears? Oh, man. I'll just say that was a really disappointing game. AJ Brown, here's something I'm going to say, and I'm going to make a bold prediction. The team is not at its best with AJ Brown leading the offense. And it has shown. Last 2 weeks, AJ Brown has got over 100 yards. He's got his touchdowns. But guess what? They've lost every time. So what does that tell us? You're AJ Brown, you're great, but you're not the focal point of our team. And they should have won that game, bro.
What about week 4? I think week 4 he had 100 yards receiving. Did they win that game? Or you don't remember?
I don't remember, but the past 2 weeks he got his numbers and they lost.
Yeah. The Bears beat the Eagles 24-15 in Philly. The loss dropped the Eagles to 8-4, and the Bears improved to 9-3 and extended their win streak to 5 in a row. Caleb Williams has not been playing great, but he's been finding ways to win. I mean, I got to give him his props. The big thing for this game in particular, though, was the running game. Chicago's running game was absolutely nuts. Running back DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monanga each rushed for over 100 yards. Swift playing out of his mind, being back home, which a lot of people, did you know that? Know it was Philly? I didn't know it was from Philly. I thought it was from Georgia. But DeAndre Swift playing back home. rushed for 125 yards, and Monange had 130 in the touchdown. They both had a touchdown. In total, Chicago finished with 281 rushing yards to Philly's 87. A very brutal advantage on the ground game. For the Bears, the win shows up is they can beat a top-tier opponent, grind out a win against a Super Bowl contender, even when their passing game isn't perfect. Their run game and defense can look legit, and this could be a real deal for the NFC North, and now they're firmly are in playoff position. For the Eagles, despite solid efforts from Hurt and A.J. Brown, Philly's offense felt uneven, too reliant on few plays and not consistent enough overall. Defense couldn't stop it all in the run. Like you said, they gave up 281 on the ground. And with 2 straight losses and the divisional rival games looming, their path to the NFC East just got a lot bumpier.
Well, luckily the Giants and the Commanders not looking that good.
No, yeah. They got to worry about Dallas. Especially Dallas coming off that win against the Chiefs.
Yeah. No, that was the last part of the Shedeur. We talked about the games. He talked about the NBA players. We talked about a little bit about Thanksgiving. You know, good time to see family. My cousins call it Friendsgiving, you know, or family giving or whatever, because they like to spend time with the family.
Oh, okay. Nothing wrong with that. I know usually when I hear people say Friendsgiving, that's when they get together with their friends, like, and have like people bring stuff like that. So that's what I'm playing when I get my big house. Everybody bring a dish. So we're going to see who really can cook. So when you bring your dish money, don't be like, oh, I got the fried turkey when your dad really fried that turkey.
Hey.
Or smoke that turkey.
I'm going to be real.
Because we know you ain't smoking no turkey money.
Hey, when I bring the dish, you're going to know. You're going to know. You're going to know.
Exactly. We're going to know it's going to be a dry-ass turkey. We're going to know.
No, you're going to know Grace cooked it. Hey, you gonna be like, money, you cooked this? Nah, Grace cooked it. You gonna be like, well, we can tell.
My wife cooked it, bro. Go ahead and take it and put it on the table. Like,
y'all, they gonna be the, oh, this is actually good. They can tell. All right.
Hey, as soon as somebody cut a little piece, it's good, ain't it? Like, I ain't tried yet. Go ahead and try it. It's good. I'm telling you, it's good. But all right, y'all. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Like I say all the time, we love the comments. Please leave a comment. Anything you want us to talk about, drop it down below. Any charitable events you want to talk about, Money?
No, but the charitable event that I really like to hear about is the Toys for Tots. I think that's a really cool one.
It's really showing, and right now you got the NFL doing the My Claws, My Cleats, which I think is pretty cool. Basically, NFL players have custom cleats dedicated to charities that they support or whatever. You should look it up. They got different ones or different ways you can support different NFL players and the charities that they're rooting for. So definitely check that out. But yes, thank you guys so much for listening. Please hit the like button. Please hit that share. Subscribe if you know. I'm Jace HD, aka 2 Wavy Jason.
I'm F Money. I'm Money for short.
Until the next one. Peace.
Take it easy, y'all.